Hello friends! Today we're doing another Disney Tips video. Disney World is an amazing place. Over the last couple weeks, we've gone over a few different things. We've gone over some pricing, different parks, best ways to get on your favorite rides at Disney World. We've gone over getting a little bit of exercise, which we call Disney exercise, Disney sizing. So I'll leave those videos in the description below. If you haven't seen those, check them out. If you're new to the channel and you're enjoying what we're bringing to you here, don't forget to subscribe down below. Give us a big thumbs up. If you're going down to Disney World, you do need to plan ahead. We usually plan anywhere from 8 months to sometimes a year ahead of time. Me and Jessica, we take 2-week trips. So those are trips that are a lot of money, but we don't just go to Disney. Part of the reason we plan so early is because, one, that way we can get the vacation time, because we know when we go down to Orlando, Florida, not just Disney World, we want to do other things. We like to play putt-putt. If you love Universal Studios, that's a good option too, because it's a little cheaper than Disney, and you really have to look at those prices. Now, me and Jessica were able to land a deal where we got, I believe it's 15-month passes. They don't have it going on right now, but when we got it back in January or February, I think you had till March to get it. That was the deadline. But we got a 15-month pass for the same price as what you would pay for a year pass. And it was only $300 and something a piece, which is basically 2 days in the park. You really have to kind of fish around the internet and see what deals are best. One thing, Jessica's a bit of an expert with this. She was busy tonight, so I'm taking on this journey myself with this video. But she, we use Undercover Tourist, which is a well-known site to where you can get discounted tickets. Our Disney tickets, we ended up getting a 7-day ticket, 7 days, and it was right around $450 a person. And that was a great deal, because you're going to pay more than that for just 4 days in the park, and we're getting 7. I just wanted to touch a little bit on that Universal thing real quick, because even a yearly pass at Universal, now we only have the 2 parks. We have Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure. You can add Volcano Bay, which is their awesome water park, and I think it's only $70 or $80 more. So for that, obviously if you live in Florida, then that's a great deal. There are deals, and you just have to kind of scurry the internet to try and find them. Be careful the websites that you use, though. I can tell you personally that Undercover Tourist is a great site that you can go to and look for tickets. And quick disclaimer here, they're not paying me to say this. I'm not promoting them or anything. I want to bring to your guys' attention, Undercover Tourist is a great place to go online to get your Disney World tickets. Now, me and my wife leave a lot of open days when we go, because Disney World wears you out. We've talked about this in other videos. Again, I'll leave those videos in the description below. A couple of you guys have reached out to me through email or comments, and I wanted to say that, I know everybody can't drive. But what I would recommend, and it may be tough because rental cars are hard to get now. I don't know how hard they are now, but I know a few months ago, it's like a lot of these places we were thinking about flying down, and there was like $1,000 a week for a rental car, and it's like, that is just insane. So I recommend that if you live, we live about 900 miles away from Disney World. We drive, it takes us about 14 hours. If we drive straight through, it takes about 13 and a half, 14 hours. For us, once we get past Atlanta, it's smooth sailing. I mean, Atlanta is probably the hard place for us to get through down 75. Anybody that's made that drive knows that. What I would do is I would check your local rent-a-car places, and maybe instead of flying, maybe make that drive, but check with like Enterprise and some of like kind of the more in the suburb areas out where you live, because those rental cars are usually a heck of a lot cheaper, and it may be really cheap for you to make that drive down to Orlando, Florida. The reason why I push the whole driving thing is because it is so much more convenient. You're not relying on public transportation. When you drive your own car, you know, you have the freedom to do whatever you want to do. You don't have to eat the expensive meals at Disney. Like I was saying in the last video, Highway 192 and International Drive, I have never seen so many restaurants and so much entertainment on two roads in my life. I know some of you that reached out to me, it's like, there's only so much I can tell you. I can tell you what we've done and what's worked, but basically for what we do is only going to be helpful to you really if you drive and or rent a car while you're down there, because you really leave yourself a lot of awesome options when you drive, because there's a lot of, you know, and this is one of the things I wanted to touch on in this video, was Disney merchandise. Now, some collectibles you're going to only be able to get at Disney World. I'm not going to lie. If you want to make sure, because they do fake the pins, the Disney pins, you know, they can be faked. So I recommend always buying those at Disney World. They are highly collectible. We have a lot of them. I've shown them off in videos. We're going to be doing more videos where we show more of our Disney collection. But I wanted to... There's a lot of places that I know you guys go down there with your families. You know, I know a friend of mine who took his 3 kids and his wife down there. And when he told me the price, I was like, oh my goodness. Like, yeah, I didn't say nothing because it was like, you know, if you got the money to do it, you know, do it up. They stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge. Animal Kingdom Lodge is beautiful, but it's very expensive. And there are perks. There are still some perks that I might have left out. You know, obviously you don't have to pay for parking because you're using their transportation. Even if you drive and you're staying on their property, you don't have to use their transportation. You can drive and you still get free parking at the park. And that's $20 a day. So that's $20 a day you're saving right there. I don't want to just speak to the budgeting Disney goer either here, because, you know, sometimes it's good to splurge. It's good to enjoy yourself. And you may go down there, if you take, you know, if you do it like how we do it, you'll love it. I mean, you will absolutely love it because you will save money. And, you know, maybe the next time, if you've never been before, maybe the next time you'll stay at Pop Century or one of the value resorts, which we don't really consider it a value resort anymore when it's almost $300 a night. I don't even know what it is now, but it is up there. It's getting up there. I don't know how much Animal Kingdom Lodge is. I don't keep track on Disney hotels anymore. They're great, though. Don't get me wrong. Their hotels are top-notch, every one of them. When they say value resort, it's, you know, it's not like you're staying at a Motel 6 or something here. I mean, we used to stay at Pop Century all the time, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Everything about it. It's themed out to the different decades, you know, whether you were born in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. It's all circled around the different decades. So if you stay in a certain area of Pop Century, say you were born in the 90s, then you stay in an area of the 90s where it's going to be all 90s music, 90s themed. We like staying in the 60s because we like the 60s type music, the hippy dippy pool. Plus, the 60s area at Pop Century is located right up toward the front, so that is less walking, which means I like that. We'll be talking more on Disney properties here in the future. I am kind of sticking to the budgeting of how you can do a trip like what we're doing on a budget and still feel like you're able to do it. Because if we can do it, you can do it. Now, I understand when you're going down there with kids, you have to factor in a lot of things. You have to factor in what's going to be the most convenient for me. Sometimes you have to weigh in conveniences with prices. You know, I completely understand that. But in today's video, we're basically talking about budgeting. This is how we are doing our vacation. This is how we're able to do it so massively. And we save up. You know, the key to going to Disney World, no matter what you're doing or how you're doing it, you do have to save your money. It takes a lot of preparation. You know, for those of you who watched our previous videos, you know, even if you haven't been to Disney, there's a lot of little things that you have to plan for, no matter what you're doing on a 2-week trip. Now, you know, if you're going to Orlando, Florida, the one thing you're going to run into is a lot of traffic. A lot of traffic. Well, I'll tell you right now, one little tip I'll give you, and I know everybody has their own GPS and all that stuff, but what I have found the most useful in a highly congested area like Orlando, Florida, is simply on my smartphone using Google Maps. Make sure it is updated, because Google Maps has been working for me for years now. It has saved us from a lot of traffic. Yeah, you know, sometimes it'll get confusing. Like it'll say, take this back road. And you're thinking, why would I do that? But the reason why it's doing that is because it's saving you from about an hour drive on I-4, which is the highway that goes right through Disney World, Universal, and straight to downtown Orlando. But I will say there are many ways to get around International Drive. Remember that road. International Drive and World Drive. World Drive is basically the drive that everything is off of. Well, Magic Kingdom, Epcot, and once you're in on Disney property, there are signs everywhere that says Magic Kingdom this way, Epcot this way. But there are, you know, it's a heavy congested area, and there's a lot of things that, you know, Google Maps has been, and this is something me and Jess were just talking about, because, you know, we look at all these GPS things, and it's like, Google Maps has saved us a lot of time. And when you're trying to get to the park on time early in the morning and you're running a little late, it's good to know the fastest way to get there. I keep mixing a lot of these videos together here. I have to do this video thinking that maybe you guys haven't seen the last video. So we've done 2 or 3 tips and tricks. I will leave every one of those in the video description below. So check those out. We give a lot of tips and pointers coming up to our big vacation. We're going to take you guys right along with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to show you our favorite things at Disney. We're going to show you our favorite things at Universal. One thing we are going to be videoing also is Disney World's Boo Bash, which is the new nighttime Halloween spectacular. So basically, I know I'm kind of going off on a tangent here. Sometimes my brain just goes all over the place, because really that's how it is. When you're planning a vacation like this, your brain's going 100 miles an hour because you're trying to think of what you need, how you're going to do it. And that's kind of how I feel. I feel like I'm packing with you guys. If you guys have any questions, you feel free to email me. You know, we would love to help you. You know, if you've never been to Disney World, or if you've been and you just thought the last time you spent too much money, you want maybe some ideas and stuff. I wanted to make this video mostly just about driving, because I do believe that if you can drive to Disney World, that, you know, even if you can drive somewhere else in Florida, or maybe fly somewhere else in Florida, anywhere in Central Florida is pretty close to Disney World. I believe it's only 100 miles from one side of the coast to the other in Orlando. So if you do have to fly, and you can work out one of them deals where you can fly and then rent a car, you know, if Orlando's expensive, or if you can't get a car there, look at some other places. Look at Tampa. Look at maybe like up near Daytona. Anywhere in that general area, you know, so you're only driving for about an hour. And if you save like $500 or $600 on renting a car, that sounds like it's worth it. And, you know, when you have your car, you know, and that's what's nice about us driving our own car down there, or renting a car from up here and taking it down there, we can bring back all our souvenirs. We don't have to worry about not being able to fit stuff on the plane. You know, that's something else that can get a little hectic. I will say that driving around, now I know it because I've been there so much, but driving around Disney World can get a little confusing because some of the construction. They've been doing a lot of construction around there and kind of turning people around and stuff. There are signs, but I will say, again, Google Maps does a very good job of pointing these things out and redirecting you another way. So if you're driving, just keep in mind 192 and International Drive, because those two roads, they connect at one point, and International Drive will take you all the way up to Universal and all the way down to Disney World. So say the highway's backed up. If Highway 4 is backed up, well, you can pretty much get off any exit to get around to go to Disney World or Universal. It's that easy. You go to Disney, especially if you've never been before, you're going to want a lot of souvenirs. And one thing I will say about souvenirs is that you don't have to buy them all at Disney World, because they have souvenir places all over the place, but you would need a car to get from there. They have character warehouses where the prices are basically cut in a fourth. You know, if you want now you're limited on what you can buy, but anywhere at the Orlando Premium Outlets, at the Disney Character Warehouse, there is another one over, I believe it's off of Vineland, off of International Drive. There's 2 character warehouses. I actually think there's 3, but 2 of them that are close to Disney that are close within driving. Now, they do have authentic Disney products that you can buy, but again, you have to drive. So it's good to have a car. Plus, you go in there, you're going to want to buy everything, because when you're seeing prices that were like $30 at Disney World and they're like $5 here, you know. Also, any Walmart down there, and I know it's like people say Disney and Walmart, what are you talking about? But there's a couple Walmarts down there, and I'm not kidding, they are flooded with Disney stuff. They have an entire Disney section, and you can get those cool like family shirts, you know, for your kids and for you, dad, kid, thing one, thing two, you know. Well, that might be Universal's thing, but you know, they have all that fun stuff. All the Walmarts that are in or around Orlando have their own huge Disney section. And me and Jess have bought a lot of Disney souvenirs down there, especially, you know, because those shirts, I forget how much they are, but I mean, they can't be more than $10 a piece, which you would pay $25, $30 for at Disney World. And you can buy the little keychains and the little statues and the little snow globes, everything they have for a fortune at Disney World at that Walmart. And, you know, it's like when you're shopping for souvenirs for your family or friends back home, you almost have to do that, because you can't spend, you know, all that kind of money at Disney World shopping for all your family and friends, you know. And some, you know, or for birthday presents, okay, you know, you can buy that little thing or something from Disney World that is something special for somebody for their birthday or something, but it is pricey. They also have like a little of those like no-name shops where they'll have Disney stuff all over the place. I don't recommend going to those. They're just not like, you know, you'll have that Mickey that's got like his eye down here and one up here. You'll have a Minnie that's missing an arm or a finger or something. It's like, we don't like going in other shops. It's like every time we go in one, something's wrong. You know, they look terrible. They look cheap. And they're really not that cheap. You know what I mean? I mean, they're not, you know, they'll say like everything's $10 or less, but it's like, why would I pay $10 for a Mickey missing an eye? So if you're down in Orlando, Florida, and you want to buy souvenirs for the entire family, or like I said, you want to get the shirt that says Disney Dad or Disney Mom, stuff like that, Walmart has all that stuff. And it's like a whole magical section, you know. I wouldn't be surprised if Disney and Walmart are kind of connected, you know, with all that, because it looks really authentic. And for the Walmart prices, I mean, you can't beat it. You know, we go there and it's like, man, it's like a gold mine. Or, you know, we feel rich. You know, we go into Walmart, it's like we could buy 10 things for the price that we paid one at Disney. Just little added tips, you know, to the whole, you know, the whole discussion of what I wanted to talk about today was the whole driving down there. It's tough. Driving, you know, I'm not going to lie. Me and Jess have a lot of fun. We have games that we play, different things to keep our mind off the road and everything. Nowadays, you know, kids have tablets and TVs in the back of the vans and all that stuff. So you do all that to keep your kids occupied. You know, we bring a lot of snacks, a lot of food. That's another great thing about driving. You go to the grocery store, pack your car up with food. You just save a lot of money, not eating out on the way down and on the way back. It's great. You know, it's absolutely fantastic being able to control your own vacation in your own ride. I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate with me on that. It's really nice being able to travel in your own car, and you just have the freedom to do whatever you want. You know, that's part of the reason why we go down for 2 weeks. You know, we don't drive all the way anymore. You know, I mean, sometimes we make it. Sometimes we make it all the way. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we'll go 8-9 hours and then just find a hotel. You know, that's part of the reason. You have to, it's all part of the adventure. Well, guys, this was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing this video. It's not, you know, I was going to start this video out with, yeah, it's tough driving. Really, it's not. You know, if you love to drive, if you come from where we are, we're from Cincinnati, Ohio, so when we leave, you know, we go through Kentucky and Tennessee, we go through the mountains. It's absolutely beautiful. A lot of people hate driving through the mountains. I love it. I think it's great. And then once you get a little bit through Georgia, it's a straightaway all the way to the Florida Turnpike. It's pretty much straight all the way through Atlanta. You know, stop here and there, stretch the legs, good to go. If you're just going down to Disney, you know, this may not be the way that you want to do your vacation. We will do videos on some of the properties down at Disney, because I will say it is pretty awesome. The one thing that stinks is they're getting rid of the Magical Express. Now, the Magical Express was the bus that took you from Orlando Airport to whatever hotel that you were staying at on Disney property for free. Now, you know, that was a perk. That's a perk right there. But they're doing away with that at the end of the year, and I don't know why they are. I feel like they're really hurting themselves by doing that. They may do something. I don't know. Maybe they'll do like a free Uber or something. I don't know. We'll just have to see what the future brings. I know Disney's got to be thinking about this, and, you know, it's going to cause a lot of people to either want to fly or not fly and drive. So that's another reason why we're kind of doing this driving video. So I really appreciate you guys watching the video today. I really enjoyed talking to you guys about this today. This is one of the things that we have grown to love about driving, because we like to take our whole life with us. You know, we bring a lot of stuff with us, and that way we don't feel like we're ever missing anything. And if we are, we just buy it when we're down there at Walmart. You guys have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow. I'm out, and always remember, the adventure is out there.